Am I the asshole for not giving the replica house I built to my niece? I'm a 28-year-old guy, and my wife, also 28, is a huge fan of a certain musician. There's this iconic house tied to their lore, not famous to most, but a big deal to fans like her. She's always collecting little trinkets, like a crow with shiny treasures. And last year, she mentioned how cool it'd be to have a replica of that house as a display for her collection. I thought it'd be the perfect gift, so I spent months secretly building a 2-foot-tall model. It's not a dollhouse, just a detailed shelf for her stuff, with tiny features mimicking the real thing. To get the colors right, I even sneakily got her to film a couple of TikToks with me near similar buildings for reference. She had no clue what I was up to, and I couldn't wait to surprise her. I got so excited about the project that I showed a picture to my brother. He thought it was cool, but didn't get why I'd make it. Then he showed it to his 13-year-old daughter, Ava, who's also a fan of the musician, and instantly recognized the house. She got all excited and said she wanted one too. My brother asked if I'd give this one to Ava for her birthday. I said no, it was specifically for my wife, but I offered to build one with Ava to teach her some woodworking skills, since schools here don't offer that anymore. I thought it'd be a fun bonding thing. My brother pushed back, saying if it was so easy to make, I could just whip up another for my wife and give this one to Ava, since her birthday was coming up fast. I held firm, explaining this was a special gift for my wife, made with her in mind. He seemed to drop it, but then he threw a curveball, saying, "Isn't it weird to make a dollhouse for an adult woman?" I clarified it's not a dollhouse, just a fancy shelf. But he argued that made it worse since Ava would actually play with it. Things escalated when he must have complained to our mom because she called me, calling it stupid to give my wife a dollhouse. I tried explaining, but she just kept repeating, "That's stupid." This weekend, I was at their house and Ava laid it on thick, saying things like, "I've always wanted one just like it," and asking why my wife needed a dollhouse. It felt manipulative, like she'd been coached. I got fed up and told my brother he was encouraging Ava to act this way, and I didn't like it, so I left. He accused me of dangling the house over Ava's head like a tease and called me a bad uncle. That stung, because being a good uncle matters to me. Ava's not my brother's biological daughter, there's a long story there, but I love her like my niece. Still, I feel like I messed up by sharing the picture in the first place. I could make another replica, it wasn't that hard. But this one was crafted with my wife's quirky love for trinkets in mind, and giving it away feels wrong. Ava's a fan too, and I get why she's bummed, but I don't think I should have to hand over something I made for someone else. Now I'm second-guessing myself, wondering if I'm being selfish or if my brother's out of line. Am I the asshole for not giving it to her? Am I the asshole for refusing to take blame for my stepsister's accident? I'm a 16-year-old guy caught in the middle of my parents' messy divorce. My mom and dad split years ago, and I'm their only kid. I bounce between their houses weekly, mom's place, then dad's, like clockwork. Dad's single, and we get along great. He's chill and respects my space. Mom, though, is a different story. She's always been demanding, texting me during school, expecting instant replies, even if I'm in class. She'll ask me to grab milk, pick up takeout, or handle stuff for my stepsister, who's 10. My mom's remarried, and her husband's got this daughter I'm supposed to treat like family. I don't drive, so all these errands are on foot, and it's exhausting. Once, she made me stand outside my stepsister's basketball practice for an hour just to walk her home. My dad and teachers told me to set boundaries, so I started putting my phone on silent during school and after-school activities. Mom even called the school once, demanding they make me text her back. Embarrassing doesn't cover it. In April, I had an after-school club and kept my phone off to focus. When I checked it later, I saw a barrage of texts from Mom saying I needed to pick up my stepsister from some Girl Scouts camping event. There was a missed call and a voice note of her screaming because my stepsister got hit by a bike while walking home alone and ended up in the hospital. I got to Mom's house, found it empty, and just did my homework, waiting. Hours later, Mom came home furious. She said my stepsister, too young to walk alone, wasn't careful and got run over because I didn't pick her up. Her leg was broken and her other knee was messed up, possibly for life. Mom blamed me, saying I should feel guilty. I told her it wasn't my fault, I never agreed to be her errand boy, and she knew I had after-school stuff. She lost it, saying family comes before activities. My dad backed me up, arguing she shouldn't rely on me like that, especially during school. Mom chewed him out for siding with the school on the phone thing, and he fired back about her blaming me. Now, every time I'm at Mom's, we fight. She says I should be ashamed for not feeling bad enough, and her husband's fully on her side, calling me irresponsible. I get that my stepsister's hurt, and it sucks. She's just a kid. But I don't think I'm to blame when Mom didn't plan properly and just assumed I'd drop everything. She never asked if I was free. She just expected me to obey. Her husband's always been a jerk. so his reaction doesn't faze me, but mom's guilt trips are relentless. She calls it disgusting that I defend myself. I feel for my stepsister, but I'm not her parent. I'm a teenager with my own life, school, clubs, friends. Mom's demands have always been over the top, and this accident feels like another way to pin her bad planning on me. Dad says I did nothing wrong, but the constant fights make me wonder if I'm being cold. Should I have checked my phone? Was I wrong to stand my ground? Am I the asshole for refusing to take the blame? Am I the asshole for agreeing with my daughter that her friend's mom is acting weird? I'm a mom to a 14-year-old daughter who's been friends with Chloe for about a year. Chloe's mom, Gina, is one of those super strict parents. I knew she checked Chloe's phone. Lots of parents do. But a few months ago, my daughter told me Gina sometimes texts Chloe's friends from her phone. It's usually harmless stuff like, Chloe's doing homework, she can't talk. But it struck me as odd. I didn't say anything to Gina, figuring it's her business how she parents. But then things got heated. This afternoon, Gina called me, fuming. She said my daughter was rude and that I needed to start monitoring her texts. I was confused and asked what happened. Gina snapped that my daughter gave her attitude through Chloe's phone. I pressed for details and she said my daughter texted Chloe. Gina replied that Chloe was busy and it spiraled from there. I told Gina I'd call her back and asked my daughter to show me the texts. She did, no hesitation. The conversation went like this. My daughter asked when Chloe would be free. Gina responded, "When she's ready, stop texting her." My daughter shot back that Gina was being rude and called her a weirdo for using Chloe's phone. Gina denied being rude, but my daughter doubled down. I sat my daughter down and told her not to engage like that again. I said calling someone a weirdo wasn't kind and to avoid name-calling, but I also said I got why she was frustrated. Gina's replies did seem sharp, and texting from Chloe's phone is unusual. I didn't punish her, she took the talk well, and I left it at that. When I called Gina back, I said I'd handled it. But Gina went off saying I should monitor my daughter's phone. And did I know she texts about crushes, vents about teachers, even badmouths me sometimes? I told her that's normal teenager stuff. I'd rather my daughter have a safe space to vent with friends than bottle it up. Gina kept pushing, demanding to know what I'd do about the insult to an adult. I said I'd handled it, but also pointed out that my daughter wasn't wrong. Gina's behavior was a bit weird. Gina lost it, saying I was undermining her parenting. My husband thinks I shouldn't have called Gina a weirdo, as it didn't solve anything and she can parent how she wants. I argued I never criticized her parenting until she came for mine, questioning how I raise my daughter. Now Gina's furious, and my daughter doesn't care that I backed her up, she's just over the drama. I don't think I overstepped, but my husband's comment has me wondering. I get that Gina's protective, but responding as Chloe feels invasive and her demanding I control my daughter's texts rubbed me the wrong way. Still, maybe I could have been more diplomatic instead of agreeing with the weirdo jab. Am I the asshole for siding with my daughter on this? Am I the asshole for telling my grandparents about my dad using my inheritance and laughing when he complained? I'm a 16-year-old guy, and my mom passed away when I was 7, leaving me an inheritance meant for my future, college, a house, that kind of thing. The will was clear. The money was for my needs only, and my dad was in charge of it. He got remarried when I was 10, bringing in my 8-year-old stepsister and later my 4-year-old half-sister with his new wife, Louise. Life's been okay, but things took a turn when my half-sister was diagnosed with a rare condition at 2. It's not life-threatening, but it could leave her permanently disabled if untreated. Doctors struggled to figure it out for years, saying she'd be fine, but earlier this year they found a specialized treatment. Problem is, it's crazy expensive, and while there are ways to get financial help, those take time. My dad decided to dip into my inheritance to cover the treatment. He asked me first, but it wasn't really a question. He was going to do it anyway. When I said no, he shamed me, saying I was putting college over my half-sister's health. Louise chimed in, asking how I could look at my half-sister, knowing the life she'd face without treatment, and still say no. I was furious. I told Dad I'd never forgive him if he took the money and warned Louise to back off, calling it disgusting that she'd push him to steal from me. I dug into Mom's will, which my grandparents, her parents, had a copy of, and confirmed the money was only for me. I told Dad this, but he brushed it off, saying Mom was gone and would have wanted this. I said I'd never see it that way, and when he told me I'd understand when I'm older, I snapped. I told him I hated him, and that Louise better never speak to me again. I went to my grandparents and spilled everything. They've always been friendly with Dad, helping him out with stuff like free car repairs or sharing things. But when they heard he took my inheritance, they were livid. They cut him off completely. No more help, no more favors. Dad didn't realize why until he confronted them last week. They tore into him, calling him out for stealing their daughter's money to spend on his new kid. Dad was pissed they didn't support his choice and turned on me, saying I ruined their relationship by tattling. I laughed in his face and reminded him I'd warned him I'd never forgive him. He called me heartless and selfish, which stung, but I didn't back down. I told him I'd never forget what he did. I get that my half-sister's condition is serious, and I feel bad for her, she's just a kid. But that money was Mom's way of looking out for me, and Dad took it without my consent. I didn't mean to blow up his relationship with my grandparents, but I wasn't going to stay quiet. Laughing might have been harsh, but after everything, it just came out. Now I'm wondering if I went too far, or if Dad's the one who crossed the line. Am I the asshole for telling my grandparents and laughing about it? Am I the asshole for telling my wife our new house won't have rooms for her extended family? I'm a guy in my early 30s planning a new chapter with my wife and 2 kids on an acre of land we own in Minnesota. After losing our 1-year-old daughter in 2021, we used her life insurance payout to buy 2 parcels of land, jointly owned by my wife and me. I landed a solid job with a federal government contractor, and now we're ready to build our dream home, a 4-bedroom house, 1 for us, 1 for each kid, and a playroom. I thought we were on the same page, but when I showed my wife the plans, she hit me with, "Where's my family staying?" Turns out she'd promised her mom, 3 brothers, and cousin they could move in with us. I was blindsided. We never discussed this, and I'm not okay with turning our home into a boarding house for her extended family. She got furious, accusing me of only caring about myself and not her needs. I reminded her I never agreed to this setup, but she doubled down, saying she'd sell the land to prove a point. I checked with the town registrar and found out she'd been making inquiries about changing ownership. That felt like a betrayal, considering the land's tied to our daughter's memory. I tried compromising. I offered to sell 1 parcel to her siblings at market value or build an accessory dwelling unit, ADU, for her family, but they'd pay market rent, about $900 per room. She shot both ideas down, insisting her family should live with us for free. I'm footing the bill for the house, and I'm not comfortable subsidizing 5 extra adults. Her family has no legal stake in the land, and I don't see why our home should revolve around them. Tensions escalated, and now I'm planning to transfer my share of the land into a trust for our kids, with clear rules that only our direct descendants can build or live on it. This way, the land stays for our family's future, not her relatives. I get that my wife loves her family and wants them close. She grew up in a tight-knit household, and maybe she sees this as normal. But I didn't sign up to house 5 adults who aren't my responsibility, especially when we're building a home for our kids to feel secure after everything we've been through. Her threat to sell the land feels manipulative, and I'm digging in because this is about our family's future, not her extended clan's. Still, I wonder if I'm being too harsh, shutting down her vision without enough discussion. She's hurt, and I hate that, but I can't see cramming everyone into 1 house as the answer. Am I the asshole for refusing to build extra rooms for her family? Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend I won't make her coffee anymore unless she stops micromanaging me? I'm a 24-year-old guy, living with my 23-year-old girlfriend for about 6 months now, after dating for 2 years. We've got a solid routine. I wake up early, make coffee, and she wakes up to a hot cup ready to start her day. It's been a sweet little ritual, and I've always enjoyed doing it for her. But lately, she's turned into a coffee dictator. She's got this hyper-specific method she insists on. Measure the coffee grounds to the exact gram, pre-warm the mug in the microwave for exactly 30 seconds, use milk at a precise temperature, and so on. It's like I'm auditioning for a barista job I didn't apply for. At first, I tried to roll with it. She loves her coffee a certain way, and I wanted to make her happy. I'd weigh the grounds, time the mug warming, and check the milk temp like a scientist. But it's never enough. Every morning, she grills me. Did you weigh the grounds? Is this whole milk or 2%? If I'm off by a fraction, she sighs and says it's not the right way. One morning, I handed her a cup, and she straight up dumped it down the sink, ranting that I never get it right, then started making it herself. I felt like I was being graded and failing every time. It's coffee, not a Michelin star dish. I hit my limit and told her, if you're going to be this picky, make your own coffee. I'm done getting criticized for something I'm doing as a favor. She got upset, saying I was overreacting and that she just wants her coffee done properly. She accused me of not respecting her preferences. I argued I do respect them. I just don't appreciate being micromanaged or treated like I'm incompetent. She called me lazy and unaccommodating, which stung because I'm literally the one making the coffee every day. Now, I've stopped making it altogether, and she's acting like I've betrayed her. I feel a bit guilty because I know she loves her morning coffee, and it was our thing. I don't mind making it, honestly, but the constant scrutiny is exhausting. I'm not her personal barista, and I don't think it's fair to be nitpicked over a kind gesture. She says I'm making a big deal out of nothing, but I feel like she's not seeing how her criticism makes me feel. I offered to show her how I make it so we could find a middle ground, but she insists her way's the only way. Now mornings are tense, and I miss our old routine, but I can't keep feeling like I'm under a microscope. Am I the asshole for refusing to make her coffee until she stops micromanaging me?